Hey cuties, welcome to another episode of Brown Girl Unscripted. It's your girl Rucha, and this is another episode. On this episode, we have a very special guest. Her name is Mina Hasan. She's the founder of Kismet, and she sells vintage watches, and she's an amazing creator. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, we have a really funny story of how we met, actually. So I think I've mentioned this a bit on the podcast. When I reach out to my guests, I literally just slide into the DMs, guys. Like, I have no chill. I'm like, hi, I think you have a cool vibe. You're gonna be on my podcast. So I did the same for her. And Miss Girl responded within, I think, like 5. Like, I sent it, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if she's gonna respond. And then I see a response right away. And I'm like, oh, yeah, when do you want to call? And she's like, today at 3. I think it was like 3 or 4. And it happened so fast. And I just like, it's Kismet, like she said. Yeah.
No, literally. I'm like, when it comes to like opportunities and stuff, I'm like, I waste no time.
Yeah.
You know?
What made you want to respond so fast?
I don't know. It's just like, oh my God, Brown Girl and podcast and New York. Like, I'm always in New York anyways. And I'm like, another excuse to go to New York. I'm gonna take it. And,
no, I love that.
You know, I love talking about my business as well. And also this is a way to just like merge both like Brown Girl platforms together, like Kismet Reserve and Brown Girl Unscripted. I feel like naturally just mesh well together. And yeah, I think we have like good synergy too from like our text messages and like from our phone call and just like, you know, I think like I texted you back and you were drafting up an email to send to me too. And yeah, you know, like it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I feel like it does mesh really well, honestly. Tell the audience a bit more about why you built Kismet and like more about it. She's wearing a sweatshirt, by the way, or a sweater, by the way, guys, which is
the Kismet Reserve sweatshirt.
Yes, Kismet Reserve. Sorry, when I introduced her, I said Kismet, but Kismet Reserve, I missed that part.
I always like reference it as Kismet, like I own Kismet, the brand.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Kismet Reserve is a vintage watch brand. I started it in August of 2023, and one of the reasons I started is because I'm a very big thrifter and like vintage shopper, and for a couple months before starting the Kismet Reserve, I was consistently finding a vintage watch every time I was on a thrift run, and every time I would post it on my stories, people would be like, you should start selling them, you have a good eye, like you curate them really well. And the thing that made me like really harp on it was when my middle brother Abdullah, he passed away. It was a very like sudden death, like out of nowhere, very unexpected. I was sitting in a cafe like a week later and I just got this like calling to do it. I was like, you know what, like I should try it. If it doesn't work out, at least I can say I tried, you know, and like never have that regret of not trying. And alhamdulillah, like I tried it and it's been working out. Over a year and a half later, I'm still selling watches. I've had 2 New York Fashion Week pop-ups, 1 New York Fashion Week supper club, 1 Chicago pop-up, and now I'm like these sweaters are about to go on pre-sale soon, so I'm like slowly expanding the business, and I'm really proud that I've been able to like stay true to my morals and still be like completely self-funded and not have to like, you know, be in debt or like take capital from anyone else. So I'm really proud that I get to say that about my business and still be like a one-woman owned entity.
Yeah, you're literally a powerhouse for doing all that. Tell me more about, you said you got a calling to do it. Like, what was that like?
I was just like, I've always had like a passion for thrifting and vintage shopping, and if you go on my platform, I've really transformed it to be more about like sustainable shopping, thrifting, etc. But over the years, like throughout the years I've had my platform, I've always been talking about thrift shopping, and it stems from like a place of like necessity. Growing up, I did not grow up wealthy at all. I grew up like, you know, living in the projects, and like at one point my family and I, we were on like food stamps and like welfare checks, and thrifting was the only way for us to like have little luxuries, I guess. Like going to the thrift store was like our equivalent of like, you know, girls going to like Sephora now and getting like a cute little like lippy as like their sweet treat or like little luxury. Like for us, that was going to the thrift store and like picking something out for ourselves, like that those were our new clothes. And so thrifting has always been like a very big part of my identity. And even though now, like, alhamdulillah, I'm not in a place where financially I need to thrift, I just genuinely like enjoy it, and I enjoy like reusing clothes that are already out there. I don't really see the need in buying new clothes unless you're supporting small or you absolutely need to. And I love that I get to like now exhibit those same morals with my brand, like, you know, selling vintage watches, like pre-owned, pre-loved watches, and also coming out with like high quality like clothing that you'll actually get your cost per wear out of and will stand the test of time. You know, like this sweater will last you your whole life. Not like Shein. So
yeah, real.
I guess like my calling for that, it was just like a very strong pull. Like I was like sitting in Jaho in Boston. If anyone knows where that is, it's like behind the Prudential Center. I was just sitting in like one of the little like rooms, and I think actually a vintage watch brand came up on my For You page, and I was like, I could easily do this. Like I didn't like their style of watches. I was like, I could create like a different like niche style of it. And so I did. I immediately just like started sourcing, and I found a supplier in Japan who can get me like luxury vintage watches, and it's like history from then on. And I love just being able to take up space as like a Pakistani like Muslim woman in like a creative unconventional field. So yeah.
100%. That is absolutely amazing. And I love that you found a good manufacturer too. I feel like that's one of the hardest parts that so many people struggle with. And then going back to what you said about that process of just like sustainable fashion, etc., I definitely resonate with that. I think that one of the biggest things that, especially in our generation, that's coming up is like we go thrifting because that is something that is genuinely fun and exciting. It's really inspiring how you grew up in that sort of situation, but then now you transformed it into something like, hey, like this is a superpower. So kind of turning that pain into power, which I feel like is exactly what you did.
No, yeah, exactly. And I just love that with my brand, like the vintage watches, it shows that like it kind of brings a different perspective to vintage shopping and thrifting and like just overall secondhand fashion, because it's like, no, secondhand fashion does not inherently mean like crusty or like crusty dusty.
Yeah,
like it's actually beautiful. And I think there's beauty in stuff that is like a little bit worn or like something that has been obviously shown so much love. Especially with jewelry. So I love just being able to like exhibit that through the brand. And there's just a charm that like vintage jewelry, vintage watches, and like vintage clothing have that you don't really see in like newer clothing now. So.
Yeah. What inspired you to create your sweaters? Like why go into clothing?
I really am like I'm really big on like silhouette. I feel like when it comes to clothing, I can never find the perfect silhouette. And I always have to end up like compromising.
Yeah.
Whether I'm at the thrift store and whether I'm like shopping like retail, like there's always something off, and then I end up compromising, buying the piece, and then I never wear it. And it's just become like a cycle. Like I will say like I'm also like an over consumer with like thrifting. Like I have a lot of things that I haven't like touched in so long because I didn't actually like the fit of it. It was just like heat of the moment. But like this year has been like complete like no buy. Like I bought like one thing when I went to Paris, but like this year I'm like very, very picky with like everything I'm buying. And I was like, you know what, like I might as well just fix my own problems and create like basics that I actually like. You know, right now we're in like a polyester epidemic. Right now I feel like every sweater is just acrylic or polyester or like just something unnatural, and it's under the guise of like recycled fabric, recycled fashion. But like we're all literally wearing trash that's not gonna last, and it makes you stink and it makes your skin itch, and it's not nice. So I have recently just like I'm kind of taking on the ethos of like spend a little more on one item once and you get your cost per wear out of it like throughout its lifetime, you know? So I decided like with the sweater, I wanted it 100% wool. I wanted to make it in the United States, which thank God, because no tariffs on that, given the current political situation. State of the world. But like if you see like this sweater is very like drop shoulder. Like that is like something I don't really find well in sweaters. Like for women, they usually cut off like right here, and I have broad shoulders, so I don't like that. I want something that like slouches down, and I like something that's more of like an oversized boxy fit without making me look like large and like
it's so true. Yeah,
like it's like little things like that, like technical things that I feel like you don't really notice until like, unless you're like a woman, to be honest, like designing your own clothes. It's like, I need the fit to be perfect. Like I want to feel confident in like an oversized baggy sweater. And like even little things like I love this long ribbing. I love like the modesty part of it. I love that it's palatable to like me, but also like hijabis too, like they can wear like a long sweater as well. Like it works for everyone. And like I guess like a really skinny guy could wear the sweater too. Like if they really wanted to, it could be unisex too. But and I love my logo. I know people are not a fan, like they're not fans of like logos being on sweaters, but I am obsessed with my logo.
No, it's mad cute. Like it doesn't,
I think it's literally like, timeless. Like no pun intended, but I love it. So
no, I'm obsessed
like
with that.
A little spiel about the sweater. I love a good mock neck as well.
Yes. You literally created a sweater that you wish you saw, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, like that's also the whole like kind of ethos behind my brand. It's like I would never sell something that I would never wear. Like I literally like I market and like create and source things for myself. Like I'm my consumer. Yeah. So that is how I like view my brand. Like if I wouldn't buy it, I would never sell it.
Yeah. That's a really good rule to have when it comes to marketing and like anything you're building, really, because it's like if you don't like it, then why would someone else?
Because then you don't believe in it.
Exactly. And you're not going to have the drive to be able to continue and like build something strong. But that gets into my next question. So you're also a creator and you built a platform. So managing this company, having pop-ups, working on your new fashion line, and also keeping up the platforms that you have, how do you manage it all? What is your creative process? I feel like that's really interesting to hear. And like how do you stay organized with that? Because that's a lot, girl.
I don't. I'm like going crazy every single day. I also do have like another kind of side, like I have like a couple other side hustles too, where I like manage social medias. And I work with like a collective called the Chai Room, and I do their social media. And like I'm currently in the process with my friend to like start a creative agency to be a content strategist. Like before I started the Kismet Reserve, I was doing content strategy like in corporate advertising, based in New York, and that was the most humiliating job ever. I felt like I was getting called stupid every day by middle-aged insecure white women. And but the thing is, like, I am really good at social media, and like I feel like it shows through my brand, especially. Like I've been able to grow it organically without paying for ads or anything, and you know it gets a lot of reach. So with my skill set, like I try to apply it to like other ventures as well, like other ventures that I truly believe in, like the Chai Room, which if you don't know is like a South Asian women collective. So if you're a South Asian woman creative, you should follow it. We host a lot of cool events. But my creative process is so like all over the place. I feel like I'm one of those people, like I kind of dream about my ideas and then have to wake up in the middle of the night and like jot it down in like my Notion app, like oh my god, or like write it down really quickly. Or else it'll go away. And like I've really tried to be the type of person that batches content and stays on top of things and does everything ahead of time. I can't. With my personal page, like it's either in the moment or it's not gonna happen. Which is my issue. But with Kismet, I'm like a lot more organized because I don't have to show my face. It's really just like my hands. And with your own like brand, like you become a lot more strict. You know, like you will adhere to a schedule for a brand than you will with like your own personal page. So I feel like with the Kismet Reserve, I'm really, really strict with that. Like, you know, on Sunday nights, I'm always packing orders, and on like during the week, like Monday, like I'm always batching content, and Monday nights I'm always editing and drafting my content, you know. So and then like Thursday nights I'm always uploading my products to the website for the Saturday morning drops. So I have like that set schedule for the Kismet Reserve. But for my own thing, my brain is like always all over the place.
No, that's so relatable. I think that like there's a lot of there's a lot of advice out there on the internet that tells you need to batch content and all of that, but that's definitely something that doesn't work for me either. I think that I have to think of it in my head, and then if I don't do it in that moment or within like the next day,
it doesn't feel natural.
It doesn't feel natural because then you're batching content and it's like I have to do all of this, and you can tell through the camera when something isn't natural. Like the audience can tell. Like it's an energy thing, I feel like, you know?
Exactly. Like it's just inauthenticity.
Yeah.
Completely. And also like my best videos, like the videos that do well are the ones I always just make in the moment. They're never the ones that I batch in advance or think super hard about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So for someone who's looking to grow on social media and our audience, like what would you say is something that's helped you grow your page organically without paid ads? Because a lot of businesses struggle with that. So what would you say is something that's helped you from your content strategy brain and influencer brain?
For one, don't copy other people's marketing strategy. I think like if you're copying someone else's marketing strategy, like you'll never win because you're always kind of like behind. Looking at what they're doing and you're always behind. Like you need to pioneer your own strategy and figure out what works for your brand, even if it's like unconventional, even like if it's like not something you've seen before. Like copying other people will never get you anywhere is like I think the biggest thing I've learned with my brand. Patience is another thing. Like it takes time for numbers to like accrue, and you just have to be willing to put it in. Like I think with social media marketing, especially in the day and age we live in, people want like they expect like fast returns and like numbers to come in really quickly, and it's like that is not possible. Like it is a waiting game. It is a long game. Like you even see it with like certain content creators, certain like actresses, certain like artists, like they don't get their big break until years later.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years.
You have to like be in it for the long run.
Yeah.
But yeah, like organic media, you just have to like be authentic to yourself. And my rule of thumb, like it's like what I said before, if it's not like I would never make a video that I would not watch or share or engage with. So you always kind of have to think about like realistically, like would I even watch this? Would I even care about sharing this? If the answer is no, then like why would your consumer watch, share, engage with that post if you wouldn't even do it, you know?
Yeah, that's a really good rule of thumb. Yeah. Do you have do you write down your ideas, or is it just all in the moment? Like you said, with like it comes to you and you write it down in the middle of the night?
It comes to me. With my brand too, like my videos are really simple, and I think that's why I like the beauty of them, because it really like just highlights and emphasizes the watches, like the products that I have in the videos. But I always curate my drops like 2 to 3 weeks in advance, so I already know like almost a month in advance which pieces I want to highlight every week, you know? So that's kind of my creative process with that.
Got you. Okay, so then when you were first starting out the company, and even now I would say, what were some things that you really struggled with that, like when it comes to confidence or even just like through the business, like what are some moments when you look back or like, oh, like that was really hard and like it's part of the process, or like something you went through? What are some of those things?
I think like when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, the hardest thing is just like taking that like initial risk. You know, like when I first started Kismet, especially like coming from like a South Asian background, like I don't know if it's the same thing for you guys, but I come from a very frugal family. Yeah. Like I always grew up like you do not spend money if you don't need to. So taking on that risk, like when I started Kismet, like that day that I was in the cafe, that first week I spent like $5,000 on watches on a whim, and that was like such a big step for me, and like breaking that like I guess like scarcity, like scared mindset, like, you know, I have to be like frugal with my money, I have to like save onto every penny, like I can't like take these big risks. Like that was the biggest challenge for me, investing in myself, you know. But slowly, like with the business, like you get used to like, you know, like spending a lot of money, like once the money comes in, and like reinvesting into the business, and like that's how you grow. You have to spend money to make money is like the biggest thing that I had to learn, and like that was one thing I struggled with a lot. I will say another thing that I struggled with and still struggle with as like, you know, single like one woman owned business is like kind of being on top of technical things like accounting, bookkeeping, lawyer, trademark, etc. Like those things sadly do exist, and I like did them very late. Because I honestly didn't think that my business would get big enough to where I had to care about that stuff. But, you know, you never know what happens. Like, you have to be prepared for everything. You need a bookkeeper, you need a, like, accountant, you need a lawyer, you need to, like, set up your LLC. So, it's just like those things were things I really struggled with. So I'm just like, I'm just a girl. Like, why do I have to do this? Like, I just want to have my cute little business. But
Yeah.
no, just it's those like stupid things that I struggled with a lot, and I still do. I'm like, what do you mean I have to do inventory? What does that even mean? Like, why can't someone else do it for me?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my god. No, I feel like those sort of things are the things that you just don't want to deal with. Like, it's because it's so tedious and annoying coming from another business owner. It's my least favorite part about having a business.
Yeah, 100%.
It's so within that, what you said about like fixing that scarcity mindset, and then also struggling through these like initial points of like finances, accounting, like portions that no one wants to do with having a business, would you say there's some of your favorite parts? Like, what do you really love about having a company and doing what you do?
I love that I get to work on my own time.
Yeah.
I think that like that is such a privilege, especially when I talk to like my friends who are in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Like, I see how it drains them, and I see how like they're working, like they're putting so much into something that they don't even own.
Yeah.
And like, I get it, like being in a corporate job, it's very safe.
It
like,
is.
it gives you a lot, like, you know, you get insurance, you get like a lot out of it, but they work you to death. Like, they make you work for that. And I feel like I was in corporate and I lasted like 5 months. And I really hope that's my last corporate job ever. But like, my favorite thing, like, I get to work on my own time. I get to, you know, I'm like one of those people, I can go to Pilates at like 2 p.m. and it's fine. And I just love that, like, at like 22 years old, I've been able to build that like lifestyle for me so early on, where I didn't have to like struggle through like so hard to like get to this point. Like, alhamdulillah, I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
And I just love, like, I love the creative process. I was like a content strategist at my old corporate job, and like I do social media for myself, and it's just like another creative outlet for me. Like, I love having full creative control and not having like someone breathing down my back telling me what to do. Like, this is something that is purely me. Like, my brand is like a mirror of me. And I love how, you know, I love how it like has reached and like touched so many people. And I just get to be like good representation of like the I get to be good representation of like the Pakistani Muslim girl community in these creative, unconventional fields, because there aren't really that many of us, and we need to start taking up space.
No, I totally agree. When you first started out your platform, you're posting a lot about like living at home and stuff about your parents, right? So how has that relationship and like that sort of content evolved since then? Like, since you are pursuing a path that's unconventional, regardless of being like super successful in it, how have your parents been about it? Like, what has that been like for you?
Yeah, so when I started out my social media platform, I was complaining about my parents. I was 17, you know, TikTok started, and that was like, I guess, my way of coping through it. Like, being at home was tough, and I'm also the eldest daughter, and that was my senior year of high school. I was like so stressed with college, and my plan was like, I turn 18 and I'm leaving the house. Like, we got into so many fights, we butted heads all the time. Then when I started like social media, like that put in like even more strain on like our like relationship, because I was kind of like putting everything out into the world, like airing out our business. But now, like, I will say my parents have started respecting me since social media became like an income. And it kind of sucks to say that, like, money really does play a factor, especially with like South Asian families. So yeah, they saw that it was starting to make money, and they saw that I was like able to pay for college myself through like the money I made on social media, as well as money I made as a server. And that, like, I got like a little bit more respect. And then, you know, they saw me working my corporate job and saw how that like killed me. And when I started my business, obviously they were like very wary about it, because I spent $5,000 in 1 week. That's like, they would kill me if I just did that on like a whim, you know, for like something material. But now they've seen that I've been able to like turn it into like a 6-figure business. My dad came to my first pop-up, and he saw like the line, he saw the rush, and he was like, I mean, he's never gonna say he's proud of me, but like, you know, he was like, okay, all right, like, you actually have something going on here.
Yeah.
So
he's validating your career choice.
I know, he's
now.
like, yeah, it's like the thing with my parents, like, they'll never tell it to my face that they're proud of me, but I hear them like on the phone with like our family members, like talking, like, you know, talking about my business and how I'm like self-sustained, self-funded, and like thankfully with the business, like it's gotten to a point where I'm able to like pitch back into the house and like get my family things as well. Like I help with like the mortgage. My family asks me for like money and stuff, like, you know, like I'm able to like provide that now, and I'm really glad that like I'm able to do that at like 22 years old.
That's amazing.
You know, so our relationship has 100% gotten better, and I think they respect me a lot more for like pioneering my own like dreams and putting myself through college, not having any debt, and being able to like do things like pitch into the mortgage, like look into maybe like buying an investment property. So yeah, like it sucks, but like money did make them respect me more. But my mom still wants me to like go back to school, get my MBA. She wants me to get a corporate job. Yeah. Like they'll never be happy at the end of it, but like, you know how it is.
Yeah, no, that's so real. I feel like I hear from like business owners who are making like millions of dollars, or like, oh, my parents are still like, the MBA is still there, and it's like, babe, I already have this entire career. Yeah.
I know, I'm like, people go get their MBA to do what I'm doing. Like that would be like a track backwards.
Literally, like, you have a real life MBA.
I know, literally. Yeah. I'm like, do I really want to go and spend $50,000?
$200,000.
Like $200,000 depending where you go. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. For me, it doesn't seem worth it unless like, you know, if like the business doesn't work out and I want to take like a different avenue, then I'll go back to school. But like, right now it's like, why rush things? Like, I don't want to like speed run life. You know? Like, I don't have to go get my master's now. Like, I can wait a couple years. Like,
there's no rush. Why are you rushing? I think like that's something that sometimes parents can feel like there's like a time limit because of how they grew up.
Yeah.
But we don't have that same sort of time limit. So, yeah.
No. You're breaking down barriers.
Literally breaking generational trauma.
Yeah.
100%. What's your long-term vision for Kismet Reserve?
So I really want to make it like a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
My vision for the brand, you know, is like you can get a full outfit from there. And so I have like a button-up shirt and like pants coming out along with this sweater. Yeah. So that I guess is like my first vision of like the Kismet uniform.
Yeah.
And the premise of it is like they are really good basics. They look chic when you put them together. You get like really low cost per wear out of it because it's just like one of those outfits you can throw on and it looks very put together with minimal effort, you know? I feel like a lot of things with like a lot of times like brands will try to make the most abstract, like most different like piece of clothing, and like it's cool, but it's not something you can realistically wear on a daily basis. So I wanted to make something that is palatable and like basic, but it's still like chic and like beautiful, you like really nice to wear, right? And like high quality. So I wanted to make like those like a really just like a good uniform, right? And then my vision is like I'll have accessories that are vintage. So you can get like a vintage bag from my brand, a vintage watch, vintage shoes, vintage sunglasses. You know, maybe I'll go into the manufacturing like part, like if that calls my name, but I really do want to work on having vintage accessories with like manufactured like high quality clothing.
I see that for you, even just with what you're wearing and like everything you have on your page. You guys have to check out our page. It's literally it eats.
Thank you.
It's really good.
But that's my vision for the brand. I definitely just want to like I don't want to have a lot on my page. Like I don't want to drop something every like fall winter season, every spring summer season. Like I want to be seasonless. I want to be like something you can wear year round.
Seasonless. I really like that.
Like I just feel like the seasons are going too fast. Like the time is going too fast. I feel like everyone is dropping something all the time.
Yeah.
And as like a slow fashion brand, especially when you're producing in the US, it's just not possible. Yeah. My sampling process, the idea of clothing came into my head December 2023. it is now what, April 2025, and I'm
Yeah.
just finishing
Yeah.
like samples. It takes a really long time, like when you're doing it like the right way. Like it's not like Shein where it just churns out in like 2 seconds. Like I don't,
Yeah.
it's not, that's like, even if I had the capital and the time to push out things really fast, like on a fall, winter, spring, summer basis, I wouldn't want to do it. It's just like, I feel like that takes the art and like craft out of it, because I'm really glad that I've had the same vision since December 2023. Like it shows that like I'm steadfast and like I really believe in this, that like over a year and like a half later, like I still want to put the same thing out that I was thinking about when I was 21, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I'm all for that. I'm manifesting all this for you.
Thank you.
What would you second to last question. What would you say for someone who's a girly in her late teens, 20s, whatever, wherever you're at, who's looking to be financially fully independent and be where you're at? What would you say to her? What drove you?
What drove me? I mean, I've always been working since I was young. I started my first like job, like service job when I was 16. And before that, like I was always doing like school, like summer internships or summer programs that had like a stipend. Like I was always very big on having my own money. I wasn't one of those kids that got like an allowance. Like I grew up poor. We didn't do that. And so just like having like my own little piggy bank, having like a bank account and stuff was very important to me. I would say like you have to start somewhere, whether it means like working a customer facing job, like working a service job, no matter how like, you know, demeaning and like humiliating and dehumanizing it can be sometimes. Like you need to take those steps to like get to like a higher point. Like I would not be where I am right now if I didn't spend 5 years serving. You know, like that made me break my social anxiety. That made me meet so many new people, and it helped me learn how to talk to people and how to be like eloquent and how to be concise in the way I speak. You know, like those jobs, like I feel like especially in South Asian families, like my parents were always like, you're going to be a server for the rest of your life. Is that really what you want to do? And it's like, obviously not. Like I have to do something like to supplement, like, you know, going to school. Like I need something of my own. Like I need some type of money coming in for myself. But those are the types of jobs that will build like real skills, like skills you cannot learn in school, skills you can't learn like when you enter like your first corporate job. Like those are things you need to come in with, you know? And then going on from that, like you have to be okay with like taking risks, like taking a risk on yourself. I feel like especially now, like in your early 20s, like I hear all the time people are like, when I'm ready, I'll do this. Like when the time is right, I'll do this. And I'm like, realistically, the time is never going to be right. Mm-hmm. The time is never right. You're never going to be fully prepared. You'll never be fully, you know, you're never going to be prepared enough. Like you could read as much, you can take as many classes as you want. You are never going to feel prepared enough than just like jumping into it and starting it and learning with the process. Like I'm saying, like what I said earlier, like I didn't have a bookkeeper, an accountant, whatever. If I was waiting for the right time to like accrue all of those things, I don't think I would have been as successful. I feel like that would have delayed my timeline so much. And when I finally felt like fully ready, like I don't think I would have been as successful. I feel like learning and like going through those obstacles and like learning with like and learning through the process of like starting a business is a lot more valuable. Like that's how you grow. You learn and you grow.
Yeah.
Through those obstacles. So yeah.
Yeah. You learn by doing, basically.
You learn by doing, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like to end off each episode with the question of what would you tell little Mina if you could go back?
I would say those high school bullies got nothing on you. Those high school, middle school bullies got nothing on you. I feel like I would just say like learn to take up space, for sure. Learn to like stand your ground, learn to like use your voice. I was like a very timid kid when I was younger. I was very quiet. I was the child that was like not the problem child at first, because I was so like well behaved and I was so quiet, and it's like that's not because I was a good kid. That's because I was just scared to stand up for myself.
Yeah.
And like being a rebellious high schooler, as like, it's not a great phase to be in, but it did teach me to like hold my ground and stand up. And I feel like if I was never a rebellious teenager and I never started TikTok and I never like accrued a following, I would not be in the place I am now, you know?
Yeah.
So you just have to have the confidence in yourself to hold your ground and like stand by what you believe in.
Yeah, even if everyone else disagrees.
Even if everyone else disagrees, exactly.
Yeah, that's like a life mantra at this point. Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on to the Brown Girl Unscripted, Mina. Where can everyone find you if you want to tell them your socials? I can include in the description as well.
Yeah, of course. My Instagram is at Mina Hasan. My TikTok is at More From Mina. And my brand page is the Kismet Reserve. And if you ever want to see me at some events, follow at the Chai Room on Instagram and TikTok.
Y'all better go do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you again for coming on. And for y'all, make sure you let me know how you liked this episode. Let me know which guests you liked. And let me know in the comments what you guys want to see more of. Make sure you smash the subscribe button and follow the podcast. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.